Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Most High, have power, and a jealous power, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of the Most High thy power in vain, for the Most High will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Most High thy power. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days the Most High made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in the midst, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Most High blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Most High thy power giveth thee. Thou shalt not murder. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his donkey, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. Bahashem, Hamashiach Yahushua, Tawab, Mon.
Hallelujah.
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 All praises be to the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the power of Israel. We thank thee, Allah, for giving us this Shabbat day. We beseech thee, Allah, to send down thy righteous angels to encamp with us this evening and minister unto us the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding in thy holy scriptures, that we may be built up and fortified in these last days with thy wisdom, that we might stand up against all the wiles of Shaitan and all the fiery darts of the devil, that we might stand as soldiers of Mashiach Yahushua in a fight for our souls and for the kingdom of heaven. All this we ask in the name of Mashiach Yahushua. Let all that have breath praise Yahweh.
Hallelujah.
Let all that have breath praise Yahweh.
Hallelujah.
Hashem Mashiach Yahushua. What the Yad? Amen.
Amen.
Inshallah, be seated. I think it's one. I wanted 2 cents. It would be nice. Yeah. All right. So I was asked to go into a topic this evening, and the person that asked me to go into the topic is not here right now. I don't know if they're on their way here or transition or what the case may be, but still in all, we'll go into it. By the Spirit of the Most High, Mashiach Yahushua, the Most High, for the Spirit and the sister to ask that question, and maybe it's going to benefit someone else, the information, that she sought to have. And the topic that I was asked to speak on is polygamy, or polygyny, or monogamy, okay? Which these terminologies, do not all mean the same thing. Monogamy, right, in a sense, is saying that a man's genes is going to go through this one woman to bring forth children. Since is the word mono, meaning one, right? And the prefix, is referring to the gene pool of this man. Now you have something in this society called polygamy, which polygamy in its real meaning means it's real wicked, actually, because it really means that both sexes can have multiple partners. That's what the real definition of polygamy. So when people say polygamy, obviously they don't understand what they're saying. You're basically saying, you and your spouse, you and your wife is like Will and Jada. Y'all into some swinging business, which Most High is not with that. Okay. Then there's then there is polygyny. Polygenism. Poly meaning more than one, and genie is referring to the gene pool that this man would be able to have children with more than one woman, right? His genes are being sown out of more than one woman, okay? Poly meaning more than one. Those terminologies mean. But what happens is these terminologies, begin to become religions or belief patterns. And some people say, well, I don't believe in that. Well, I don't believe in this. Well, Most High didn't use any of these terminologies. These terminologies is how man categorizes things and groups it in. And that's what you do in religions. You create a belief system. But what we teach is the law, statute, commandments of the Most High Yah. And he gave us marriage. Okay? That's what he gave us. And in our understanding of husband, wife, marriage, well, then we can get the answers or the understanding on what is righteous with the Father and what is unrighteous. Just by understanding the fullness of marriage, the fullness of what it means to be a husband, what it means to be a wife, right? These are offices that you hold. This is a position that you take on, and it has rules, has laws to govern these things. All right, it's like being a son, or like being a father, or like being a mother. There's rules for everything. Being a good brother, there's rules to that. Okay, it's not how you feel like doing it. Because some people say, well, I want to be a brother the way I feel to be a brother. Forget what the Bible says. The Bible says that's brotherhood, but you know what? I'm a different type of brother. That's not how I roll. No, it doesn't work that way. Either you being a good brother according to what the commandments say, either being you a good father according to what the commandments say, or you're not. And the same thing goes for a husband. The same thing goes for a wife. It's not however you want to do it. It's how the Most High said do it. So we're going to look at the understanding of marriage first, before we could even go into venture into understanding of one wife, multiple wives, things of this sort. If we don't have the one wife right, you're going to have multiple problems. If you don't understand marriage in the beginning, okay, or what it means to be a husband. Okay, there's a reason why in the Hebrew tongue, the word husband and the word husband or farmer are similar words, right, in context, because it's actually a similar task. Okay, when you really look at the whole meaning of being a husband, and then you go into being a wife, and then you look at the nation of Israel as being a wife to the Father, and you understand that relationship as well. So we're going to start it out, get Colossians 3, verse 17, we'll get some scriptures, and we'll see what it's all about according to the word of God. Colossians 3, verse 17.
The book of Colossians, chapter 3, and verse 17.
Okay.
And whatsoever ye do in word or deed, do all in the name of Mashiach, giving thanks to the Most High and the Father by him.
Right, so always giving thanks to the Most High in the name of Mashiach Yahushua. Okay, as it is written, so shall it be done, right? So that we go to the Father through the Son. He said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man going to the Father but through me. So we call on Mashiach Yahushua in our attempts to connect with our power, the Almighty Yahweh. Okay, so let's get Hebrews 13, verse 4. Start there.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 13, verse 4.
Okay.
Marriage is honorable in all,
right,
and the bed undefiled,
right.
But whoremongers,
But what?
But whoremongers,
The whoremongers, come on.
And adulterers,
and what?
And adulterers,
come on.
The Most High will judge.
Right. This is a very important verse right here, because it lays a difference between honorable marriage, whoremongering, and adultery. Now, adultery, even for us in here, it might be clear, but maybe some people listening don't really understand what adultery is. So let's clear up adultery first and foremost. And then we're going to look at what whoremongering is, and then we're going to look at honorable marriage. Okay? Adultery, in a nutshell, is you desiring another man's wife. A man desiring another man's woman, another man's girl, or how you want to put it, another man's boo, however, whatever word they use for it today. That woman belongs to that man. If a woman sleeps with a man, that woman belongs to that man. Right? Even if you could say that's that man's concubine. Something we might touch upon this evening too. Right? That was another big misconception in Israel on what a concubine really is. Okay, so some scriptures on adultery real quick. Let's get Leviticus 20 and 10. Let's start there.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 20, verse 10.
And
the man that committed adultery with another man's wife.
With who?
With another man's wife.
So that's the key right there. In order for the man to commit adultery, he has to commit it with who? Wife. Okay. He has to commit it with another man's wife. He cannot commit adultery without another man's wife. Understand that clearly. All right. That's a basic understanding. All right. Read on.
Even he that committed adultery with his neighbor's wife. The adulterer,
right, which is him, the adulterer,
and the adulteress.
And who's the adulteress? The wife. That's the wife. All right, the other man's wife. She's the adulteress. He is the adulterer. So Most High made it very clear that both are guilty. A woman might be married, a guy is single. The guy tried to gets with the woman. He go, I didn't do nothing. She committed adultery. That's against the law of the Most High. That's not correct. She can't commit adultery without you, and you are part of the adultery too. Okay? It falls on both parties. Okay? She cannot commit adultery on her own. Say, well, I'm not married to him. She's married to him. It doesn't work that way. Adultery is when a man sleeps with another man's wife. Now, that's the physical act. Now that starts with a mental sin. To get to actually physically sleep with another man's wife, you mentally have that thought in your mind. All right? So that goes back to, give me Exodus, the 20th chapter.
The book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 17.
Come on.
Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house.
Right.
Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife.
Right.
Nor his servant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his donkey, nor anything that is thy neighbor.
So check that out. A man's wife was in the same category as a man's house, a man's ox, a man's donkey. So what is the concord between all these things? Possession.
Yeah.
Possession. Okay, that's what all these things had in common. They all was his possession. So if another man wants what his brother had, that brother's possession, you might have a nice car, right? BMW convertible, very nice. I don't want his car. Okay, if I want his car, then I have what? A covetous spirit on me. Right? That's why we got to be putting alarm system, parking in the garage. lock it up behind the gate, because a lot of our people have what? A covetous spirit. That covetous spirit radiates within their mind, their spirit, which causes them to do everything else that comes down the lane, which brings forth adultery. It brings forth death. It brings forth bearing false witness. All other sins kind of hinge on that covetous. Give me Romans 7. To get more clarity on covetousness. Okay, sorry.
The book of Romans, chapter 7, and verse 1. Know ye not, brethren, for I speak to them that know the law, how that the law have dominion over a man as long as he liveth. For the woman which have an husband is bound by the law, bound by the law to her husband,
right?
So long as he liveth.
So long as he what?
So long as he liveth.
So long as he liveth, she's bound to her husband. Right?
But if the husband be dead, she is loose from the law of her husband.
So while he's alive, she is a possession of her husband. Now, a lot of women might say, well, you don't own me. They're your wife, but they say you don't own them. Okay? They don't understand biblical marriage because they're fighting it. They want to be it. They want the status, but do you really want to be the wife? You know what I mean? You want to be called the wife, but you don't really want to be the wife. Because if you have a problem with under the understanding that your husband owns you, then you really don't want to be a wife, right? Because this concept is foreign to you, because it's not taught in this society that we're living in. They teach you some 50-50 stuff, some friends with benefits kind of thing. Not what the Bible says about true marriage between a man and a woman. Okay. Also wanted to get out of Romans, I've not known sin. Hold on a second. What precept you have?
Ecclesiastes 36 and 24.
Yeah, I'm getting there. Not yet. I'm going there tonight. I'm jumping there. We gotta go some places before we go there. All right. Okay, I'm going to take my tongue. I've not known sin but by the law. Is it 8? So the Lord said, thou shalt not covet. So I'm taking my tongue. It's right here. Seven. I know it's right here. All right, yeah, go ahead. Read 7 to 7.
Book of Romans, chapter 7, verse 7.
Mm-hmm.
What shall we say then?
Right.
Is the law sin?
Right.
The Most High forbid. Yea, so like a nay, I had not known sin, but by the law.
Right, come on.
For I had not known lust,
right,
except the law had said, thou shalt not covet.
Right.
But sin, taking occasion by the commandment,
Right.
wrought in me all manner of concupiscences.
Right.
For without the law, sin was dead.
So what is concupiscence? Who knows what that means? Who knows what that word means? Because that whole verse makes more sense once you know what that word means.
Basically, you being guilty.
Is that a guess?
Con.
It sure sounded like one. All right, what is concupiscence? You might look it up. Let's get the dictionary definition of that word. Then that verse will make a whole lot more sense.
Sexual desire.
It is.
Yeah, desire, craving, longing, desire. For
Say it loud, say it loud. Is it loud?
Desire, craving, longing, desire for what is forbidden.
Right.
Lust.
Right. Lust, desire, craving for what is forbidden. So let's read that verse again with that understanding of that word.
The book of Romans, chapter 7 and verse 8.
Come on.
But sin,
Uh-huh.
taking occasion by the commandment,
Right.
wrought in me all manner of concupiscence.
So what commandment is he referring to? Thou shalt not what? Covet. But more specifically, thou shalt not commit adultery.
Yeah.
Because when you understand the word of concupiscence, he's talking about desiring somebody's woman. Okay. Read on.
For without the law, sin was dead.
Uh-huh.
For I was alive without the law once.
Right. I was living without the law, not knowing. Like a lot of our people out there, they living without the law, statute, commandments. And what ends up happening? Read on.
But when the commandment came,
Uh-huh.
sin revived,
Mhm.
and I died.
Right.
And the commandment, which was ordained to life.
Hold on. Did you skip over something?
Hmm.
Read it again. Read verse 8 again. So I can.
Okay. The book of Romans, chapter 7, verse 8.
Uh-huh.
But sin, taking occasion by the commandment,
Uh-huh.
wrought in me all manner of conspicuous
Concupiscence.
concupiscences,
Mhm.
for without the law,
Mm-hmm.
sin was dead.
Right. So it wrought in him, it made him realize that he got some wicked desires. The law will make you realize that. A lot of times we want to enter into things that's of the Most High without the laws of God, of Yah. People want to be wives and husbands, but they don't want to do it the way the Most High do it. They want to do it the way how they want to do it. And because they do it their own way, they end up in a conflict, right? Not realizing they don't even understand what they entered into, right? They signed up for something, they claiming to be something, but they don't even understand what they claiming to be. This day and age, anybody can go down to the courts, go get a marriage certificate, and get married. Who's stopping? Who even knows? Who's even determining if you should be married? You go to the pastor in these churches, as long as you slip him that bread, he marry y'all like this. It's a financial thing. It has nothing to do with the laws of marriage. He don't make sure that she know she owned by this man. He don't make sure he understands his responsibility over this woman, right? Nobody's making sure that. They give him marriage. It's harder to get a driver's license than a marriage license. Anybody can get married. There's no test. There's no how could you say nobody's no one's over this union, but yet they say it's a license. What is a license you know you can get without any kind of test, right? If you want to be a licensed electrician or carpenter, stuff, you know how long that takes? You got to go through not only school, but you have to show that you have mastered certain level of that trade, that you understand what you're doing, or else you can't obtain that license. Because people got to trust the fact that you are going to be proficient in what you're doing. But a marriage license, just a piece of paper in this society. But it wasn't that way with us. It wasn't that way with our society. They had to learn. Our young men had to learn what it means to be a husband. Our young women had to learn what it means to be a wife. They had to go before that woman's father, and he had to determine whether this man is worthy to be my daughter's husband. Does he understand marriage? Okay. Where is he from? Is he grasping the concept of taking my daughter? Right? Wouldn't just give it to anybody. That's what they wanted to know where you came from. Who's your father? What did you learn? Before you come back to my, you taking my daughter. You hear me? Nowadays, our daughters, were they sneaking Little Wayne in the window? My daddy's at work, trying to make money, put the house over, you sneaking some knucklehead in the window. Because you watch too much Rihanna videos and Nicki Minaj. And you are curious about things that don't concern you. Okay? That really don't concern you. You're not ready. That's why, marriage nowadays is a joke thing, man. Right? From the time Obama legalized men and men to get married, marriage is a joke thing in this country. You forget it now. That paper, if it wasn't worth nothing before, it's worth less than nothing now. Because you're allowing man and man and woman and woman to have the same paper that the structured marriage in the Bible was supposed to solidify. Okay. So for me to go into any topic of more than one wife and things of that sort, I have to go into marriage first. So that is locked down and understood and handled correctly. Then when we start to go into that topic of more than one, it won't seem so foreign, it won't seem so strange. Right? It's strange with the concept of marriage that we have today. It's a strange thing. Because the concept of marriage is a strange thing that we have in this society. Okay. It don't mesh. You can't take partial law, right? Or I'm gonna do the law of this part, but that part I'm not gonna do it. You're gonna just create a one big bowl of mess. That's why I said a little leaven leaveneth the whole lump. Okay. You can't have a partial marriage, but you're not really married because she don't really understand what it is to be married. You don't understand your responsibility over this. Come on, it's madness. It's madness, right? As we have young men coming up in this truth, we're going to advise and that you understand the fullness of marriage, so that when you bring a young woman talking about that's going to be your wife, you understand what you're getting into. You understand that you have to make her understand, okay, before she get into something that she ain't even thought out fully, okay. And the first understanding we went over right now is understanding that she's a possession from the time she take that position, okay. Now I'll give you Ecclesiasticus, okay.
The book, Ecclesiasticus, chapter 36 and verse 24.
All right, 36:24.
He that getteth a wife,
right,
beginneth a possession.
Beginneth what?
A possession.
He that getteth a wife beginneth a possession. Okay? That's very clear. That doesn't need to be expounded on or broken down. Read on.
A help like unto himself.
Now this is very important. A help like unto himself. You got to explain that to me. What is it that's saying? Sum that up in a few words, common words, or layman's terms, as they say. What does that mean? A help like unto himself. Help you do what? Help like unto himself. Very key, that last part right there. Like unto himself. I want to make it even easier, so we can get to the point, because there's a lot of scriptures to go over. I don't want to hang up too long. Like unto himself. What does that mean?
Basically, whatever position he holds, she has to be there, like sort of helping him in that position. She can't be like just the way. Basically, she can't like overpower.
It's really not that deep, man. It's real surface, man. It's real common layman terms. I'm gonna break it down real. Y'all gotta have stuff in common, man. You gotta have stuff in common. How you gonna be with somebody that you have nothing in common with? They have some silly idea in society, or what opposites attract.
Oh, I did about to say that. Yeah.
If you go on one way and your wife is going the other way, how are you attracted? That don't make no sense. Is that saying she might have some personality traits that you don't have? but maybe her personality traits will help you, right? In what you're trying to achieve in your life and with the Most High. Because remember, this is your wife. A lot of times we look at it and we say, well, you know, I got to teach her. She got to be in the spirit, and she got to be. Wait a minute. This is your wife. It's not the Most High wife. We are his wife. Anybody understand that? Who are you at? Give me Isaiah 54 and 5. Isaiah 54 and 5. Let's get this understanding.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 54 and verse 5.
Uh-huh.
For thy maker.
For thy what?
For thy maker.
For thy maker. Read on.
Is thine husband.
Is thy what?
Is thine husband.
Thy maker, Israel, is your husband. Who's our husband? The Most High. Mashiach Yahushua. Again, Most High gave us over to Mashiach Yahushua. He made us. He's our husband. Read on.
The Most High of hosts.
The Most High what?
The Most High of hosts.
Come on.
Is his name.
I mean, how straightforward is that? Thy maker is thy husband. Look at that relationship. Then you have more understanding of what marriage is about. Our relationship with the Most High, the relationship between Israel and the Father gave us onto his son, Mashiach Yahushua. That's the marriage right there. That's the ultimate marriage right there. Okay? And understanding that relationship, then you understand how is it that the husband to relate to the wife and the wife to relate to the husband. Okay. Other than if you don't look at that, then you're taking things out of perspective. Okay. You trying to join your wife with the Most High while you're on the sidelines. It doesn't work that way. She's supposed to be joined to you, and then you are joined to the Most High. Okay. A lot of times in society, the woman gone to the church, husband home watching game.
Yeah.
She come back from the church. What the pastor said? You said that for real? You had a good time? Give me some sandwiches. He ain't worried about it all that nonsense. He got nothing to do with him. So she done gone to the church, have a relationship with the pastor that you not involved in. When you supposed to be her head, you supposed to be her guide. She's supposed to go through the Most High through you. Again, we have the wrong mentality and understanding of marriage. That's why these things can take place. That's why the pastor packs the church with a bunch of women. You know, the Christian church is like 90%. You know what I'm saying? I'll say 80%. And I'm being generous there. Woman. Right? Mostly older women, a lot of single women. Okay. All right, or semi-single women, as they call them today, because they ain't got no husband, they got friends, whatever that means. Okay. So this phenomenon won't take place in our society. This has no place in our nation. Okay. Has no place. All right. We have order. Things we've done order. Do we have single women? Yeah. We went over that the other day. Our single women was what? Widows, right? And the fatherless. Maybe they lost their father. You know what I mean? And this is how we had single women. Either they lost their husband or they lost their father. Okay. And therefore, what do we do with the widows and the fatherless? We protect them. Scriptures say to protect the widows and the fatherless. That's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to be looking out for them, making sure that ain't nobody try to take advantage of them. But in this society, they the prey. Well, you ain't got no man? Well, your father, I don't even know my daddy. Oh, you finished now. You know what I'm saying? you might as well, you gonna forget it now. He's gonna be over there hanging out with you and your moms. Right? No order. Okay. Ephesians, the 5th chapter. We understand this marriage thing, man. And how it correlates with our relationship with the Most High Yah. So we're going to go to Ephesians 5, and we're going to start with 22.
Okay. The book of Ephesians, chapter 5 and verse 22. Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands,
Right.
as unto the Most High.
As unto what?
As unto the Most High.
As unto the Lord. Okay, submit yourself unto your own husband as unto the Lord. Why is it even saying this? Okay, it's saying this for a reason. It's saying that your relationship between wife and husband is relationship like between nation and the Lord. Similar relationships. Okay. Just as the Most High, how does the Most High want to do things? Who does he use? He uses men. If he want to send me a message, he gonna put that spirit in somebody that's gonna come and tell me. He gonna, he uses men. He got to put the spirit in us to go out and teach the word. He can just zap it into the minds of the people, but no, he gonna what? He said, "Thou art my battle axe and my weapons of war. With you will I bring peace to nations." So he's gonna use his people. He's gonna use us to do his will upon the earth, and he's gonna protect and save us. And he's gonna be proud when we do well, and he's gonna chastise us if we do wrong, and he's gonna be over us and be a blessing unto us, a covering. This is all the roles that you are with your wife. If the marriage is going according to biblical understanding, right? If you are practicing a biblical marriage, okay? Read on.
Verse 23. For the husband is the head of the wife.
Come on.
Even as the Mashiach is the head of the church, and he is the savior of the body.
Come on.
Therefore, as the church is subject unto Mashiach,
right?
So let the wives be to their own husbands in everything.
Come on.
Husbands, love your wives.
Husbands do what?
Husbands, love your wives.
Right, and it's on us. We got to love our wives. Okay. We have to take care of our wives. Okay, it can't be whatever we want, whenever we want. They got to figure it out. That's not what the Most High prescribed. Okay, read on.
Verse 25.
Uh-huh.
Husbands, love your wives,
even
as a Mashiach also loved the church,
right,
and gave himself for it.
Come on.
That he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word.
Right, so he sanctified and cleansed it by the washing of water by the word. So through the word of the Mashiach Yahweh, we were cleansed. Okay, as a body, as a nation. Remember, the comparison is what? Husband and wife. That's the comparison. Okay. How did he wash us by the word? By what? He teaching us how to be clean, how to be righteous. He taught us. Same thing that the husband has to do for the wife. You got to teach her. As much as that you got to teach her, she got to learn. Right? It takes two to tangle there, right? You got to be willing to teach, and the wife got to be willing to learn. Can't be one without the other. Right? You try to teach somebody something they ain't listening. That ain't working. Okay. Read on.
Book of Ephesians, chapter 5, verse 27. That he might present it to himself a glorious church,
right,
not having spot or wrinkle or any such thing, but that it should be holy and without blemish.
So you see that? He says, so he might present it to who? To himself. Okay. So you ever did a work? Maybe you, for instance, like, we'll keep using elder, you used to trade, right? And you build something. And then you sit back and look at it. And you go, huh. You know what I'm saying? You sit back and you go, yeah, that's a good work right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do electrical work. So if I run some pipes and they all lined up right and the bends is right. I stand back and go, damn, I did that. That thing looked clean. Okay. He says, so he might present it to himself without spot or wrinkle. So that you teach your wife and you build her up in the spirit, and then you see her flowing in the spirit, teaching the children, doing this and that. You sit back and go, come on, sister in the spirit, right? Because you took the time out and put the effort in to make sure that she's common, okay? Like yourself, saying the things that you would say. Right, understanding the spirit that you are modeling your household after. You know, whatever that might be. Everybody's house ain't the same. You know what I mean? Some people's house might be real strict. Some people's house might be full of jokes. You know what I mean? You know, people. You know, it's how the head of the scriptures say how the king is, so is his kingdom. Okay, so you are a real meat freak. You know what I'm saying? And you expect everybody, everything to be straight and lined up. That's you. I can't tell you don't be that way. All right. But if you are not that way and you're more leisure, then I can't tell you don't be that way either. There's no sin in that. It's your personality. But it's up to you to determine how you're going to bring that and establish it with your wife. Okay. So what we're doing right now is just understanding marriage. Before we can get into how many wives, we got to understand what is a wife. Because that's lost. In Israel, you know what I mean? A lot of brothers in Israel claim to have wives, right? But if you check the records, ain't no marriage there. All right. There's a facade because they don't know marriage yet. And they need to get there. Right? And but you know, it's a beautiful thing that the Most High is a merciful power. He allows us the time to get there. But he said, we're going to rehearse the righteous acts. So we ain't going to be perfect in it. But as we learn, we make the adjustments and we move forward in the spirit of the Most High and we correct ourselves so that we can move forward with biblical righteous marriage according to the scripture. Okay? We don't.
The book of Ephesians, chapter 5 and verse 28.
Uh-huh.
So ought men to love their wives as their own body.
Come on.
He that loveth his wife,
right,
loveth himself.
Come on.
For no man ever yet hated his own flesh,
right,
but nourisheth and cherisheth
right,
it, even as the Most High, so like even as the Mashiach, the church. For we are members of his body, of his flesh, and of his bones.
Right, so what? You don't see men beating themselves up. You know what I mean? Unless something wrong with, you know, some people have some mental issue. But most of us take care of ourselves. You give your body what it needs. When you're hungry, you feed it. When you're sleepy, you lay it down. Right? You need to take a bath. Nobody got to tell you. You like, man, I got to take a bath. You go take a bath. Right? You take care of yourself. The same way you take care of yourself is how you're supposed to deal with your wife, with your Isha. Okay? It's the same way. It's an extension of your arm. But for you to have that link, your Isha got to be like your body. Meaning that when you want your arm to move, if your arm don't move, you got a problem. You got to, you might have some sort of mental issue or situation. You might be, because when you ask your arm to move, you want it to move. Right? You can't expect to be one body with a body that don't listen to the head. How are you going to be one body? It's confusion. That's why it takes all sides to come to the fullness. You can't do part and piece. You got to look at the whole marriage structure and get marriage right. Biblical marriage. Okay. We started out this verse. Let's get it from the beginning. Go to Hebrews 13, verse 4 again. Read that again. Because we dealt with adultery and what that is. But read that verse again.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 13 and verse 4.
Mhm.
Marriage is honorable in all,
Right?
and the bed undefiled.
And the bed is undefiled. There's no wickedness when a husband and wife lay together. There's no wickedness happening. Read on.
But whoremongers,
So what?
but whoremongers
Come on, okay.
and adulterers
And what? Right?
Most High will judge.
Right. So we can't deal with whoremongering and adultery. Now, whoremongering is dealing with what? You dealing with women for straight physical pleasures, fornication. Okay, that goes back to fornication. Right? Now, the woman can be single. We went over the fact that the woman was married. That is adultery. But let's say the woman is not married. And let's say the woman is single, but you lusting after the woman. Okay? You're not establishing no marriage with the woman. Okay? You're creating wars when you do that because you're not going to stay with the woman. Okay? Get 1 Corinthians 6. And we're going to start with 15.
6 and 15.
Uh-huh.
The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 6 and verse 15. Know ye not that your bodies are the members of a Mashiach?
Uh-huh.
Shall I then take the members of a Mashiach and make them the members of an harlot?
Right.
The Most High forbid.
Most High what?
The Most High forbid.
So what? You can't take your body and make it members of a harlot, meaning that you just sleeping around with women. Or you just desiring women for physical pleasure. You're not trying to commit or play the role of husband like we went over in the scriptures. There's a door locked because people are not. Is it locked? The door should be open. You don't lock the door. No, man. Door stays open. The door stays open. Only lock the door when we pray. Other than that, the door is open. All right. Come.
What verse was that?
We are reading 1 Corinthians, the 6th chapter. We started with the 15th verse. Mm-hmm. Read again.
The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 6 and verse 15.
Mm-hmm.
Know ye not that your bodies are the members of a Mashiach?
Right.
Shall I then take the members of a Mashiach and make them the members of an harlot? The Most High forbid.
Right.
What? Know ye not that he which is joined to an harlot is one body?
Is one what?
Is one body?
So what? You make yourself up to be a harlot. Okay? You dealing with whoredoms, you dealing with harlots, you make yourself out to be that very same thing. And you're supposed to be body with the Mashiach Yahushua. So you jacking up your marriage. Okay? The marriage of the nation. Not the marriage of you and your wife. Right? Because the nation is married to who? Most High Mashiach Yahushua, right? Most High gave us over to Mashiach Yahushua. So we are married to Yahushua as a nation. So we can't join, and now we married to Yahushua, we can't be going out, dealing with orders and stuff like that. You coming out of the nation, you join the whole body to that madness. Okay, read on.
Verse 17.
Mm-hmm.
But he that is joined unto the idol one is one spirit.
Uh-huh.
Flee fornication.
Flee what?
Flee fornication.
Right, come on.
Every sin that a man doeth is without the body.
Right.
But he that committeth fornication sinneth against his own body.
Right, you sin against your own body. You're hurting your own self. Okay, if you're dealing with fornication. So a lot of times, brothers got, it's really a fornication spirit. They try to mask it with, oh yeah, these are my wives, or the case may be. Okay, you have not established one marriage yet to say you're gonna have two. and have the understanding of what it takes and what the Most High requires of a marriage, to say you're going to take on another one, okay? And if so happen you do, then you understand that this is a forever thing when you deal with this woman. It ain't until she upsets you or piss you off and you're like, yeah, I don't deal with her no more. And you want that sister, nah, I don't deal with her no more. What are you talking about? That is this society. It's not that we mix this society with the Most High. In the Most High society, it was none of that. Unless you died, right? Where'd you go? Okay. If you were still breathing, how did you part this up? How'd that work? Now, there is a bill of divorce, but we're going to go into that, understand that, right? But that is something, that's actually mercy from the Most High because of the wickedness of man. And the Most High know how wicked we're going to be, so he gave us a mercy of divorce. But that's something that we got to know that you already in the transgression by the time you get to divorce. You're already in the transgression. Okay. There's no way two people can divorce when there's no transgression. No. That doesn't happen. Okay. You're already in the transgression by the time you get there. Okay. Somebody is not adhering to the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. Okay. So we have to understand, again, we're going into biblical marriage, to be rooted in what marriage is supposed to be. Give me Peter's. 1 Peter. Then we're going to go to Tobit. Get some information from there. 1 Peter 3:8. Please. Okay. 3:1.
The book of 1 Peter, chapter 3, verse 1.
Come.
Likewise, ye wives, be in subjection to your own husbands.
Right.
That if any obey not the word, they also may without the word be won by the conversation of the wives.
Right, because why? When a woman is subjection to her husband, it's so different in this society. Our women are not used to hearing that or seeing that. They're used to, what they call the strong black woman. Don't need nobody. Independent, right? I don't need nobody telling me what to do. You don't tell me what to do. Right? You ain't my father, woman. That they're used to seeing and used to hearing from. But when they see your sisters talking, and they talking about how subjected they are to their husbands, to another woman overhearing this conversation, they'll be like, whoa, what are you guys even talking about? Okay? They'll be drawn in to that righteous spirit. All right? Because that's righteousness on a high level. Okay, read on.
Verse 2. While they behold your chaste conversation,
Chaste,
Salakia, conversation, coupled with fear.
Coupled with fear. Chaste, coupled with fear. What does chaste mean? What does that mean?
Pure.
Huh?
Pure.
Pure in what way?
You ain't talking about evil stuff.
Evil stuff. That was even more vague. I think pure was better than evil stuff. Moral in what way? Bring it all the way home. You're right there. I know you understand it, but you didn't say what it is.
According to the law, you're obedient.
Not really.
So moral conversation about the husband? About
It's there. You're right there in the corner. You gotta bring it home for me. Yeah. What's chaste? Anybody can answer. Go ahead.
Clean conversation?
What do you mean by clean?
righteous.
Right.
What do you mean by righteous?
Pure.
I think
The Bible dictionary said pure from all unlawful comments of sexes.
there you go. I was trying to get to the point. Everybody beating around the point. She ain't talking raunchy about sex. A lot of women, listen, you hear that? What with it? Sex with me is so amazing. Every time I turn on the radio, I hear how amazing sex with Rihanna is. Right? You can't turn on the radio for 10 minutes without them playing that song. Okay? They got that thing in heavy rotation all day through all four stations. Right? That's not chase conversation. What you do, what you could do with this, this and that. You know what I mean? That's not chase conversation. Chase conversation, you don't go into all that. That's showing what? A lack of what? Discretion. Right? The scriptures say a woman that lacks discretion should be counted as a dog. Okay? Hold on. That's a good verse. Let's get that. A shameless woman, I should say.
Yeah.
But it's a shameless, but it's also, give me Proverbs. Get Proverbs. That's the one that has discretion. I want to say it's 22:11. 11:22. One of those. That's like Judah and the swine snout. Judah and the swine snout?
Yep.
Yeah, give me that.
11 and 22.
11 and 22? God, I know it was something like 11:22 or 22. 11:22. Proverbs. And then we'll get it in the Apocrypha.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 11 and verse 22. As a jewel of gold and a swine's snout.
Right, so now what's in a swine's snout? Swine's snout is not a good place. All right, you don't want to be up in the snout of a swine. That's a nasty place right there. Okay, swine always sticking his face in some madness and nastiness, and nose always running. That's a disgusting place. So he said like a jewel in a disgusting place. Read on.
So is a fair woman.
So a beautiful woman. That's what the fair means, right?
Which is without discretion.
That's without discretion. That's what you see our women, right? Most High, the scriptures tell us, even the scriptures say that Israel, we got the most beautiful women. The nations used to look at our women and be like, yo, what kind of nation is this with women like this? Okay. They were known, our women were known for their beauty amongst all the nations. But if you lack discretion, it's like a jewel in a swine's snout. You might be physically attractive, but you're in a bad place, man. Mentally, spiritually, you're not in the right place. You know what I mean? A place that somebody wouldn't want to venture to go into, even though you are a Jew, they ain't trying to go there. Okay. So that's how Most High is referenced in the Bible. That's why discretion is important. What does discretion mean? Like brother brought up, chaste is talking about, this and raunchy sexual conversation that you hear so much of. All these rapping chicks, that's all they talk about in the midst of everything else. They gotta talk about what they have, what they don't have, what they can do, what they can't do. Okay, our young women emulate this out here in the schools. You hear them talk, the young ones, they're talking about this and that, talking about stuff they don't know about, right? Because it's an in thing to talk that way. Okay, that's not of Yah. That's not a conversation that our sister, the Most High, should be engaged in. Okay, even if they, or trying to edify by any means, edify a young woman on something, they have to find a chaste way to bring that out. You know what I mean? Not talking crazy. Okay. Now give me in the Apocrypha, please add this 26 and 25.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 26 and verse 25. A shameless woman shall be counted as a dog.
Right.
But she that is shamefaced will fear the Most High.
Right, so that goes what? Same thing with discretion, lacking discretion. shameless. When they say, oh, that woman ain't got no shame, that means what? When she's showing her body, she's showing things that she ought not to, that we shouldn't even know about her. She got a whole block going. That's why she don't have no shame, right? Go ahead.
There was some brothers from another camp, they were saying that shame-faced men and a woman shouldn't go to makeup.
No, it has nothing to do with that. Nothing to do with that. Okay. Read that verse again. That verse tell you what it's about. I don't have to tell you it. Read that verse again.
The book.
Let's see if that understanding would apply to this verse. Let's see that.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 26 and verse 25. A shameless woman shall be counted as a dog.
Right.
But she that is shamefaced will fear the Most High.
All right. So now, she that is shamefaced is talking about makeup. A shameless woman be counted as a dog, but she that doesn't wear makeup, that doesn't make no sense. Has nothing to do with that. Has zero. Okay. Shamefaced means what? It's talking about being forward in speech, prideful in her speech, and not being what? Not being shameful. Meaning that she don't hide. She don't have no discretion. Right? She's talking about her body parts. She's talking about sexual things. What they call today the life of the party. Right? She out there saying all kind of wickedness out of her mouth. Right? Like all these entertainers do. I think all of them do it. Right? They ain't talking about sex. They talking about something in that realm. You know what I mean? Or to that effect. So that's showing a lack of discretion, a lack of shame. All right, because a woman's nakedness is her shame. So if she doesn't, if she's have no shame, that means she's revealing things of her private parts or life, or that ought not to be revealed. Okay, that's what it's talking about. Okay, makeup a whole nother topic. You know what I mean? That's a whole nother topic. I guess it goes into the look, right? Which there's scriptures, scriptures on that too as well. But this right here, they're not talking about that. Okay. Read on.
Ecclesiastes chapter 26, verse 26.
Right.
A woman that honoreth her husband shall be judged wise of all.
Judged what?
Wise of all.
Right. A woman that honors her husband shall be judged wise of all. Okay. That was honor, respect. Okay. That she shows her husband respect. She be looked at as wise. That goes back to the conversation, the chaste conversation coupled with fear. That's what we're breaking down right now. We're coming from 1 Peter 3 and 2. All right. Showing that this is what our women, righteous women would show themselves to bring them to a level of marriage and being a good wife. You know what I mean? And we can understand biblical marriage. Okay, read.
But she that dishonored him in her pride shall be counted ungodly of all.
Right. She that dishonoreth him in her what? In her pride. Meaning that she get puffed up. She know better. Hey, sit down. Tell her husband, sit down. Go in the bathroom. You see it a lot though. Women then take the head warriors. You shut down. Let me handle this. Husband sitting there all quiet. Honey, yes, honey. Whatever you say, honey. That's madness. The woman should not even want to do that. If you think you have to do that, you need to pull back and be like, I need to build up my husband. I don't need to be up in the forefront. You know what I mean? I don't need to be there. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta have that understanding and of real biblical marriage, what it's supposed to entail. We understand being a husband, being a wife, because that's what a marriage is. A marriage is a husband and a wife. Okay. We went over scriptures dealing with wife, good, bad. Some scriptures dealing with husband, good, bad. Okay. Let's get one dealing with husband, good, and bad. Give me Isaiah 32. 32 and 1. We're going to get back to Peter's, though. I want to finish that. Peter.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 32, verse 1.
Uh-huh.
Behold, a king shall reign in his righteousness, and princes shall rule in judgment.
Right. King shall reign in righteousness. Princes shall rule in judgment. Kings and princes, these are what? Men. Correct?
Fine.
Could a woman be a king or a prince? No, she could be a princess, correct?
Fine.
Right? Read on.
And a man
Right?
shall be as in hiding place from the wind.
Right. So now, when you get into manhood and being a husband, you shall be like a hiding place from the wind. What is the wind? It's something that what threatens, something that can cause a problem, cause discomfort, cause damage. You are, when somebody go to hide, they go behind what? The man. Read on.
And a covert from the tempest,
Uh-huh.
as rivers of water in a dry place,
Right?
as the shadow of a great rock in a weary land.
Right. Man, you're in a desert, and then you got this big rock casting a big old shadow, and you trying to get out the sun. Okay, that's what you got to imagine. This is what the scripture's talking about. Okay, like water in a dry place. You in somewhere where there's no water, but you that water. You're what's needed. That's how important, you know, if a husband, a man is supposed to roll in that spirit. You know what I mean? Sometimes we get lazy as men. We sit back, that wife will handle it. She know what to do. I don't got to know what to do. I can just sit here and play this video game. Okay? While she go out and do all kind of stuff. Got one bill collect on one phone, there juggling this, doing that, and you sitting there. I made it to the 8th level. What else going on here? She got like, you know, 3 people on hold. She juggling the bank book. Things going crazy. People try to turn stuff off. You wait to get to the 8th level. Like you accomplished something today. Man, I almost beat the game, girl. See, that's why you don't even be listening to me. I'll tell you I beat the game, and you don't even care. No, she don't care that you beat the damn game. What the hell are you doing? What are you doing? I tell you what you're doing. You haven't been taught. That's what it is. There's certain lessons and certain understanding that has not been passed down. And certain things we think is choice, which is not choice, it's actually scripture. It's actually commandment. It's law. It's what the Most High told us that we have to do. Okay? It's law. Like we started this class saying, every other license you obtain, you have to pass a test to show that you are proficient in what you're getting a license to do. But a marriage license, you can just walk right in there and be any kind of idiot and get that license. So who's to tell you that you're doing it right or wrong? They have you believe that, oh, you can do it your way. What in the Bible did the Most High say you can do your way? I can't find nothing he said you can do your own way. He tell you how to wear, what to eat, when to work, when not to work. And he gave us a whole lot of scripture on marriage that we have to understand, conquer, and come to terms with before we venture into something and we don't even understand what we get into. You tell a woman that she's a possession, she'd be ready to fight you. Your husband owns you. You got a problem with that? Then you got a problem with the Most High. Not with me. Right? Thus saith the Most High. Okay? You to be in subjection, you got a problem with that. You ain't got a problem with me. Thus saith the Most High. If you tell a man, listen, you can't leave your woman, man, what are you talking about? Oh, she get on my last nerve. Oh, well, you need to work it out. Okay? You need to figure it out. You need to teach. You need to have patience. You need to have everything that the Most High had for us because he's our husband. Why if he said, man, later for Israel, they'll never get it right. When are we going to go? Where's our salvation going to come from that day? Okay. We'll have no place to go. Okay. So in us understanding that relationship makes us understand what we're needed to needed to do as husbands. So let's get back to Peter's 3. You can start back from 3:1 again. Just read on.
The book of 1 Peter, chapter 3 and verse 1. Likewise, ye wives, be in subjection to your own husbands, that if any obey not the word, they also may without the word be won by the conversation of the wives, while they behold your chaste conversation coupled with fear, whose adorning let it not be that outward adorning of plaiting the hair and of wearing of gold or of putting on of apparel, but let it be the hidden man of the heart, and that which is not corruptible, even the ornament of a meek and quiet spirit, which is in the sight of the Most High of great price.
So does that mean that our women can't dress nice? What does that mean? Overshadow? What do you mean?
Like, don't let your outer beauty outdo your, basically, don't focus too much on your outer beauty, focus on following the laws.
Somewhat, but I think you're missing one very crucial point in what this verse is talking about. What is this verse referring to? The women's what? How they look or how they what? What were the women doing, right?
Well, your actions, like, they wouldn't be out there.
Their actions?
You know what I'm saying? How, like, basically, like, they're meek in spirit.
What did the scripture say? What did the scripture, go back to the verses. What were they, what's the topic? What were the women doing?
It was like, I would say, focusing more on how they look to get a man rather than being spiritual.
No, they weren't trying to get men. These were wives talking. I had to put it out there. The women were talking. This was their conversation, right? This was their conversation. Remember, the whole topic of what we're reading is conversation. So they can win the young women by them witnessing or hearing their conversation. And their conversation wasn't about their clothes. Their conversation was about their fight and their battle to be righteous with the Most High. This is about conversation. Has nothing to do whether they can dress in plaited hair or not. They might have had on plaited hair, costly raiment, costly clothing, right? They might have even had on jewels, but they ain't talking about that. What are they talking about? The hidden man within inside. They're talking about how getting their spirit right. They're talking about the righteous things they're trying to conquer, or what demons they're trying to get over, or how they building their household, or how they, how they represent their husband, how they doing this, how they doing that, how they raising these children. That's their conversation. If your conversation, if all you can say to your fellow sister is, man, I like them shoes, you need to have more conversation. You understand what I'm saying? That's what it's about. It's about the conversation. What's coming out from you, from the inside of you. Okay? Because you will wear, brothers get their garments made, and your women, you put your dresses made. That's fine. As long as it's righteous apparel. Hey, listen, you want to wear, we wear our gold, right? Where was the gold that they used to build a golden calf? Before he made the calf, it was where? We was wearing it. It wasn't locked up in the tent nowhere. We took stuff off. Oh man, all right. You know what I'm saying? We coming out of our stuff and gave it to him to build that calf. So we wear our gold. You don't lock it up in Fort Knox nowhere. You read about our kingdom, the streets paved in gold. Okay, we use the gold. So we like to see things look beautiful, but that wasn't our conversation. Okay, our conversation was, what you're doing in righteousness. You know what I mean? Things that pertain to, being a wife, being a mother. These are the things that's being passed on These are the things that the young woman is walking by and hearing the conversation. Man, I gotta get. They sound like some wise women. Yeah, some old wise women come together and talk. Yeah, sit there and listen to what y'all talking about. They dropping jewels. This is what you gotta do. Right? This is how you gotta be. Right? Sometimes you gotta put it in layman terms. They gotta put it in terms that young sisters gonna understand where you going with that. It don't always have to be you going back to the chapter and verse, but it has to be based on the chapter and verse. Okay, read on.
Verse 5.
Uh-huh.
For after this manner, in the old time, the holy women also, who trusted in the Most High,
come on,
adorned themselves,
right,
being in subjection unto their own husbands.
Come on.
Even as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord.
Calling him what?
Calling him Lord.
Right, so it's going back to the examples. Being a good wife, being a good, strong homemaker. Okay, as they call it today. Read on.
Whose daughters ye are, as long as ye do well and are not afraid with any amazement.
Right, as long as you do well and you're not afraid. Because in this society, you're going to be chastised for that. You'll be chastised for being humble to your husband. Doing what your husband tell you. When the girls are saying, yeah, girl, we're going to go out, we're going to go to Chili's, we're going to have this. And you say, let me go ask my husband. They look at you like, you're going to hear the record stop.
I know, right?
What did she just say? Well, hold on, let me go ask my husband. Man, listen, hope you're ready for that. Because you about to get it. There's going to be a bunch of haughty women on your case because you said that. All right? But that's your battle. That's your cross. Bear it. Stand strong for the way of the Most High. So that's why I say, come. I'd ask my husband. I'm a woman. I'm a righteous woman. I'm in order. I'm not coming out here thinking I'm doing nothing with y'all until he say it's good with him.
Now it's the other way around.
Right? Man, I saw that today at work, man.
Yeah, it's the other way around now.
I saw that today. I just had to sit quiet. I was in such amazement, I couldn't even say anything. Right? Brothers sitting right across from me, they came out the office and, man, could you work overtime this weekend? He said, hold on, I got to ask my wife. Got on the phone. Yeah, babe. Listen, man, they want me to work the weekend. I can? Oh, thanks, babe. I love you, babe. And he ain't afforded and said, yeah, I'll work, man. That's good. And they said, so I'm sitting, he's sitting right in front of me. I'm like, but I ain't say nothing. I'm like, oh, I bought it. I'm spirit is on me. I'm ready to, like, what I'm holding, like, do a holy dance, right? So I'm like, woo, what did I just hear, right? I said, all right, I'm gonna get to know this brother right here. We got to talk. Hold on, it gets better. So then he's sitting there and the phone rang back. Yeah. Oh, yeah, whatever you say. All right. Okay. I love you, babe. I love you. Turn back to the supervisor and say, yo, man, I can't work, man. She said, I can't work, man. Wow. So he said, man, stop. The supervisor said, man, stop playing, man. He said, no, I ain't playing. I can't come. He was serious. He ain't coming. Wife said he ain't coming. He ain't coming. So I was like, wow. I had to take a real hard look at that whole situation. Sometimes you say, boy, I'm lucky I'm the new guy here. Because I had to stand up and say, man, listen, I'm sewing together spines in the office. Complete surgery. But nevertheless, I can't even blame him because he's a product of the environment. Yeah. The whole environment is all mixed up. The whole concept of marriage is all mixed up. The whole concept of roles is all mixed up, right? Because we can't be God to our God. We can't be Lord to our Lord. As much as our wives can't be a husband to your husband, right? And you can't play a wife to your wife. That's out of order. It's out of order on every level. You can't force her to that situation to be a husband. You know what I mean? We have to understand that we have to let. Scripture saying, "Who letteth, he that letteth will let," meaning that the Most High is in control. Right? We let the Most High do His thing, and we follow suit and watch Him change our lives, not us take control and change our lives ourselves. Right? We have to let Him in and say, "Okay, give me marriage according to the Bible." So let me understand that first. Then I can determine if I can deal with one wife, two wife, or 3 wife, 10 wife, you know what I mean, or concubines, or whatever the case may be. In the Hebrew, the plegesh, right? The concubines or whatever, mistress or whatever you got going on. All these things are in the scriptures. And there's a righteous way to conduct yourself in every one of these categories. But you got to know that before you go there. Don't jump the gun and go there, and then you worrying, or why am I in this situation? You stressed out, she mad, you upset, children upset, everybody mad. Because we done got into something that we didn't know what we was doing. Okay? This takes time, it takes understanding, it takes coming to a heightened level of awareness when it comes to what the Father requires. Okay? And when we get there, then we can, like our foreparents had great households, 14 wives and how many children. That just don't happen, right? Especially not in our society. In ancient times, it was different. We were closer to the Most High. We understood a lot more. Our women understood more. We as men understood more. So we conducted ourselves a certain way. Society was moving in a different way. So this thing was, it was already paved for this type of family structure. But in society, it's uphill. Can you have it? Yeah, you can have it. But you better have it in righteousness or the whole thing will fall apart. Okay? And you'll be the only one to blame. You can't blame the woman. That woman, she messed me up, or I hear all this blame game goes on. But it's you. Because everything come back to the man. Come back to you. Right? Being a head is a responsibility. It's like being the owner of the company or the boss, right? When the company fold up, was it the guy in the mailroom or was it the guy that's sitting on the top floor? Who's to blame? See, man, he never gave those mails on time, and now look at the company. Company's all messed up because he didn't get the mail to the office on time. No, that's madness. All right, somebody up top made a bad decision, and that bad decision trickled down and destroyed the whole company, the whole situation. Okay?
As a husband, how responsible are you for your wife following the law?
How responsible are you?
Like if your wife, she doing something that you know that's not important to the law, what's supposed to be your role in getting her back on course?
Let's read on. We're in the right spot for that. We're in Peter's, right?
Yeah.
Let's continue.
The book of Peter, chapter
We're gonna get there.
Chapter 3 and verse 7.
Mm-hmm.
Likewise, ye husbands,
read on.
dwell with them according to knowledge.
According to what?
According to knowledge.
So the scriptures say, ye husbands, dwell with your wife according to knowledge. Meaning that it's our responsibility to teach our wives, especially when we see them going astray. Okay? Especially when it's, you have to bring forth correction. We can't sit quiet. Okay? Give me, what is that, Numbers 30? Let's get that. I think the Numbers 30 is vow.
Yeah, 30 and 2.
Yeah. Yeah, read that. Numbers 31.
The book of Numbers, chapter 30 and verse 1. And Moses spake unto the heads of the tribes concerning the children of Israel, saying, This is the thing which the Most High have commanded. If a man vow a vow unto the Most High, or swear an oath to bind his soul with a bond, he shall not break his word. He shall do according to all that proceedeth out of his mouth.
Right. So as a man, we say something to the Most High. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. Most High bless me with this, and I'll be there. You got to keep that vow with the Father. That's talking about your word. Okay. Scripture say that your yea be yea, your nay be nay. Right. You are counted as responsible for what you say. That's what you do. Okay. If you can't do it, don't say it. Come. Read on.
Verse 3. If a woman also vow a vow unto the Most High, and bind herself by a bond, being in her father's house in her youth, and her father hear her vow, and her bond wherewith she have bound her soul, and her father shall hold his peace at her, then all her vows shall stand, and every bond wherewith she have bound her soul shall stand.
Read on.
But if her father disallow her in the day that he heareth, not any of her vows or of her bonds wherewith she have bound her soul shall stand, and the Most High shall forgive her, because her father disallowed her.
So her father had a position in her life between her and the Most High. That he can interject. He can come in between his daughter and the Most High and say, no, disallow that. So that gives you a position, an understanding of position. So in the Most High, the father has that position over his daughter, that the Most High will hear the father above what the daughter's saying. Okay, read on.
Verse 6. And if she had at all an husband, when she vowed or uttered aught out of her lips, wherewith she bound her soul, and her husband heard it, and held his peace at her in the day that he heard it, then her vows shall stand, and her bonds wherewith she bound her soul shall stand.
Come on.
But if her husband disallowed her on the day that he heard it, then he shall make her vow which she vowed, and that which she uttered with her lips, wherewith she bound her soul, of none effect. And the Most High shall forgive her.
So do you see there? The correlation that's made is that the husband took the position of what to the daughter, to the woman? Her father. So now ask that question again, right? But then use father and daughter, right? If you have a daughter, right, that you see doing something wrong, right? Or do you feel responsible to let your daughter know?
Yes.
Absolutely, right? Now, when she reaches a certain age, she may or may not do or take the instruction that you give her. But you ain't gonna sit quiet, right? You come home, your daughter doing some wickedness, right? You're gonna be like, yo, this is off. You know what I mean? You're gonna correct her. Now, a young child, you will, physically, scripture says, spare the rod, spoil the child. But that's a young child. You're not married to a young girl. You know what I'm saying? So you're married to, you dealing with an older daughter or something. But you still their father as long as they are living. Okay? So you're going to correct them regardless. And they have to be able to receive correction from you. Right? You got daughters out there, you still, I'm grown.
Yeah.
I'm grown. I don't even know what that means. Right? So what, you're old? Right? That don't make a difference. If you're a parent to a child, you're going to correct that child as long as that child is alive. As long as you're alive. It don't got no age bracket to correction. As much as we understand that we can be corrected, how is it, you know what I mean? The Most High, we pray the Most High correct us. We all here in the coming to class to be corrected. When you open up the Bible from Genesis to Revelation, is nothing but correction in the Bible. That's all it's telling you. Do this, don't do that, do this, be this way, don't be this way. You open up the Bible, you see things you're doing wrong, and you stand corrected. So, the same spirit, if your woman, your wife, is in the spirit of marriage, right? She'll understand that correction coming from her husband, just like it came from her father or her parents. Because out of our daughters, may not grow with their father, So just the way correction may come from their father, their parent, just the way they gotta eat it. Sometimes they didn't want to hear it. You just come home, you've been doing wrong. Lectures waiting for you behind the door. You're like, I don't even want to go up in that piece because I know I'm gonna get it as soon as I walk in the door. As soon as you walk in the door, sit right there waiting on you. Is the time you come inside? You don't know what time it is? But you gotta take it. Right? If you were wicked, son, you rail up on your parents, but you wicked then. You ain't supposed to rail up on your parents. You shut down and take the correction. Knowing that you did the wrong thing already. Okay? That's how you're supposed to move. That's the spirit you're supposed to move in. Okay? Matter of fact, give me Job. I believe it's 5 and 5. Maybe 5 and 4. You got love correction. Get that out of the book of Job. Okay.
Job 5 and 5. Some harvest the hungry.
No, go down. Right before the troubles. This is troubles.
Oh, okay. 17.
What is it?
So, behold, happy is the man whom the Most High corrects.
Yeah, there it is.
Okay. The book of Job, chapter 5 and verse 17.
Okay.
Behold, happy is the man whom the Most High corrected.
Right, happy is the man that the Most High corrected. You should be, when you get older, and you mature, you look back at the correction that your parents give you, you like, man, they saved me from some foolishness. Right? Even though at the time you didn't want to hear it, you didn't want to hear, but later on you like, man, it's a good thing that they used to be on my case like that, because if the route I was going, I'd have jacked myself up. But at the time you don't want to hear it. At the time you think you know better. And that's the same thing, it doesn't end. That same feeling comes over us as so-called adults, or when we have a man, woman age, we still think we know better all the time. If somebody takes somebody outside of the situation and look at it and say, oh, listen, this is what you're doing. We got to be able and apt to hear that. He said, happy is a man. Read that again.
Behold, happy is the man whom the Most High corrected.
Who the Most High corrected. Read on.
Therefore, despise not thou the chastening of the Almighty.
Don't be upset when you get corrected or rebuked. We go over that all the time. That rebuke is love. Okay? We go over that all the time. Rebuke is love. But then when you get rebuked, you got feelings. And we go over it over and over again. You know what I mean? And then we go to rebuke a brother that sat in all these classes and understand rebuke is love and still got feelings when they get rebuked. It's like, man, you ain't supposed to have feelings. You're supposed to be like, God, I'm taking that. Take it. Take that joy and say, all right, man, yeah, I'm corrected, man. I'm off. All right? But I'm going to get on. And that's it. Same thing with our wives, man. If you see your wife doing something, you say, oh, you're going off right now. Right there, just out of dirt, get the scripture, whatever case, however you want to deal with it. Sometimes you can explain something to somebody, sometimes you got to get the scripture. They don't believe what you say. It's all right, don't worry, get the scripture. Right? Read it. No, I'm not going to read it. You read it. All that good stuff, whatever it takes to get understanding across. And they see, I see it. And that's it. Then it's up to them to now manifest the correction. They shouldn't be resentful towards you because they understand it's not being done because you ain't got nothing better to do. This is what you're supposed to do, right? It says, husbands, dwell with your wives according to what? Knowledge. What knowledge? Knowledge of the Most High. Right? When you're dwelling, when you're spending time together, it's not all laughs and jokes and and all that good stuff. It's also correction, understanding. Okay. Getting on that same wavelength. Right? Scriptures say when a man get a woman after his own mind, that's a blessing, man. Right? You get a woman after your own mind, you're in a good situation, right? Get Ecclesiastes 25. Let's start with 1. Let me see the time. Okay.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 25 and verse 1.
Come on.
In 3 things I was beautified and stood up, beautiful both before the Most High and men. The unity of brethren, the love of neighbors,
Come on.
a man and a wife.
A man and a what?
A man and a wife.
A man and a wife, read on.
That agree together.
That agree together. That's as beautiful as the unity of brethren. When a man and wife is in lockstep, as they call it. Y'all agree. Y'all seeing the same thing. Focus on the same thing. Okay. Moving the same way. Okay. This is beautiful in the sight of the Most High. A great reward. Read on.
3 sorts of men my soul hateth.
Yeah, don't go with that. Jump down to Yeah, 25 and 26. That's what the whole chapters are about. I'm going to pull just a few verses.
Twenty-five, 26.
The wife after his own mind. So, so we'll move on. I don't want to waste this time. We're getting near the end. So let's get back to go back to Ephesians. Let's finish up in Ephesians. We have a few more verses to finish up there. Understand it. And then we're going to back to Ephesians. I think we'll finish in Peter. Give me Ephesians 5. I think we read down to Ephesians 5.
You did 30 already.
Yeah, you can pick it up at 31.
Okay. The book of Ephesians, chapter 5 and verse 31. For this cause shall a man leave his father and mother, and shall be joined unto his wife, and they two shall be one flesh.
Right.
This is a great mystery, but I speak concerning a Mashiach and the church.
Right. So he referencing the Mashiach and the church as the two becoming one. Okay. As a husband and wife, they go forth and establish, their household or whatever the case, whatever they're building, the two becomes one. Okay, same focus, right? One meaning the same focus, same mindset.
Verse 33. Nevertheless, let every one of you in particular so love his wife, even as himself. And the wife see that she reverence her husband.
Right, and the wife reverences her husband. Okay, so what does it mean to reverence? It means to serve. Okay. People love you, and you're supposed to serve him. Because he's supposed to serve the Most High. Okay, that's his job. Your job as a wife is to serve him. Okay. Once you understand that and you establish this understanding, then these other questions that come up, won't be such a hard question. Because now you're looking at marriage from the right perspective, as almost like a father and daughter, kind of like that type of respect. Even though the structure of the relationship is different, the respect is the same. The honor is the same, right? But you interact differently because, a father and daughter doesn't interact like a husband and wife, but the respect is the same. Then you would understand, you would answer your own question, really, about concubines and other wives and stuff like that. You will realize as a wife, it ain't really got much to do with you. It's up to him. What does he want to do? That's between him and his power. Right? As a wife, you have your relationship with your husband, and that's what you're concerned with. Okay. Whatever other relationships he thinks he could handle, he got to answer to the Most High for that. Okay. The thought that he has to answer to you for that, you're already out of the spirit. Okay. If you think that he has to ask some sort of permission from his wife or something to that effect, there's no place for that in biblical marriage. Okay. It's almost like you getting permission from your children for you to do what you have to do. It doesn't make sense. Okay. No matter how old your children are, it doesn't make sense. Now you could get advice, you could advise. He could come to you for advice, and you can give him advice according to your understanding, and he can eat off of your wisdom. But as for authority, there's no authority. Everybody understand that? All right. There's no authority there. Let's get let's hammer that point down as well. Let's get 1 Corinthians 14. You know what? That's more dealing with the silence. I want to deal with the authority. Hold on. Not 14. Give me Titus. No, I'm sorry. Timothy's. Yeah. 1 Timothy's 2. And 12. Let's get right to the point. Timothy's 2 and 12.
Okay. The book of 1 Timothy, chapter 2, and verse 12. But I suffer not a woman to teach.
Right.
Nor to usurp authority over the man.
Right, nor to usurp authority over the man. Read on.
But to be in silence.
Read.
For Adam was first formed, then Eve.
Read.
And Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in the transgression.
Right, come on.
Notwithstanding, she shall be saved in childbearing if they continue in faith and charity and holiness with sobriety.
Right, so this is it. That's letting you know here that it's not for our sisters to assert authority over their husbands. Okay? Because Adam was first formed in Eve. And Adam wasn't deceived by the serpent, but Eve was deceived by the serpent. And then Eve deceived Adam. Everybody understand that? So because of this, this is why the Most High made things in the order that he set them in. Okay? This is understanding here. Okay? So everything is precept upon precept, not upon line. It's not how I feel about it, it's what the scriptures say. Okay? So what your husband entail wants to do, he has to seek guidance and understanding and righteousness in marriage and understand marriage in its fullness, because we still have more fullness of marriage that we didn't touch yet when it comes to, it's supposed to be a marriage certificate. It's supposed to be a ceremony when you get married. Okay? It's supposed to be exchanging of this, a joining of families. If you have your family in your life, you know, a lot of times we live like loners out here in this kingdom, but it's supposed to be an exchange. That's the whole process of marriage. It's not a secret rendezvous. It's not a couple of drinks and a couple of times to the movies and, you know, listen, we got married in the back of Chevy. That's not how you get married. Okay? That's not marriage. Marriage, you have to have written document. You gotta have someone that say, Con, this, you ought to be married to this. You got this man, this woman, y'all together. This is part of marriage. Okay, a big part of it. Because that prevents situations down the line where somebody just turns up single. And nobody's seen a husband, you know. When did you become single? Where's your papers? As much as there's a divorce paper, it's a divorce paper because there's a marriage paper. And you need to have one paper filed on top of the other paper, right? It has to be records, okay? So all this, you know, we're a nation. This is not a religion. And a nation have order and laws of how it conducts every aspect of life. Nothing is left up to your own interpretation. Especially marriage. Marriage is very important because what is a nation but what? A group of families. That's all it is. That's what makes a nation. All our families get together, we form a community. These communities now get with another community, and now you're starting to have a nation. And that's how Israel came about. So there's certain laws that's across the nation. No matter how you feel about it, that's across the nation. Even Esau learned from us that he got to have a marriage certificate. Now he perverted the marriage, without a doubt. He's perverse, so that's what he does, right? He take a good thing and twist it into some sort of financial document that have a whole bunch of laws attached to it that are not in the Bible. Okay, so he done perverted the bound of marriage and divorce. But you're not supposed to be able to divorce your wife because you feel like it. I don't like her no more. She burned the rice. I don't want to deal with her no more. I'm done. That's the last time. She burned the rice 3 times. That's it. That can't be the reason why you got ready. You getting a divorce. Right? There's laws on divorce. The Mashiach told us, listen, she got to commit some sort of fornication. If that's not the case, that's your wife, man. Listen, you might have issue, problem, y'all might separate, y'all might have issue, y'all work on it, you reconcile, you fix it. Marriage is a lifelong commitment. It's like having a child. You will always be your children's mother, your mother, right? You don't get to a certain age when you're not their mother anymore. Like, oh, well, I used to be a mother, but now you're grown, so I don't know, we're just friends. No, you will always be their mother. The same thing with marriage. Unless something breaks the bond of marriage. What in scriptures call wedlock. Okay? What can break wedlock? Let's get it real quick. Back to Ecclesiastes. We're going to wrap it here. I knew that I couldn't go over all this in one class, but at least we can start with a foundation of marriage, and then we can look at the family structure within Israel, or let's look at the different marriages in Israel. Because like I made a mention of having concubines and wives, and the difference between the two, and all these structures are in Israel, are in the Most High. And we have to understand them as children of the Most High, so we don't conduct ourselves, out of the way. So back at 36, because that is 36. It's 36. Let me see. Where is it? Yeah. Start with 21. 36, 21.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 26 and verse 21. So thy race which thou leavest.
Oh, where you at? 36, 21?
26,
36, 21.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 36, verse 21. A woman will receive every man, yet is one daughter better than another. The beauty of a woman cheereth the countenance, and a man loveth nothing better. If there be kindness, meekness, and comfort in her tongue, then is not her husband like other men.
Right.
He that getteth a wife beginneth a possession, a help like unto himself, and a pillar of rest. Where no hedge is, there the possession is spoiled.
What does it mean the possession is spoiled? What does it mean to spoil a possession? What does that mean? What does that mean to spoil a possession? Come on, you know the answer to that. Yep.
It belongs to somebody else.
To spoil it? What does it mean to spoil it?
Like, rock.
Huh?
Rock corrupted.
To what?
Corrupted when
Rock. Come on. I know you've been over spoiling. What's the spoil?
To take.
To take.
Oh, to spoil.
To spoil. Where no hedge is, the possession is spoiled, meaning that it's taken away. Right? The man, you the hedge. If you don't have your knowledge, wisdom, and understanding there to protect your household, then there's no hedge. And where there's no hedge, the possession is taken. All right, read on.
Where no hedge is, there the possession is spoiled. And he that have no wife will wander up and down mourning. Who would trust a thief,
right,
well appointed, that skippeth from city to city? So who will believe a man that have no house, and lodges wheresoever the night taketh him?
Right, so a man that he got no household, no family, he just be wherever. So who's gonna trust that man? So having a family, it's almost like it makes you legitimate, It gives you some sort of collateral. Say, okay, this man, he ain't just skipping around. He got a wife and children. Every time you go to a job interview, they ask you that question. You want to know why they ask you that? You got to be a plumber. They ask you if you have a wife and kids. Because they know if you have a wife and children, what? You're going to take this job what? Seriously. You got responsibilities. You're a responsible person. So they can be rest assured that you more than likely going to show up to work. But he said, nah, I ain't got no wife, I ain't got no kids. I don't need nothing to do. I'm doing nothing. They be like, man, this guy could be here tomorrow, gone. Here today, gone tomorrow. He moving like a nomad. Don't live nowhere. They have no base. So your family is your base, okay? And it also speaks for your dependability in the side of man, right? And the Most High. Okay. So now, is that on that?
Yeah.
Okay, one more. I wanted to get the one on breaking the wedlock. Then we could wrap it in with that. And then we'll have to pick it up with more, we'll come back into this. Very important that we get all the understanding of marriage and I get a chance to field your questions, 'cause I'm sure you have questions. All right, but it's so much scripture, it's hard to take questions without getting all this out. It says the eyes is 10,000 times brighter than the sun. Holding all the way to the man.
Ecclesiastes 23:19.
So it's in 23, where it talks of the man. Let's see. Yeah, 23:17.
Okay.
Matter of fact, start with 16.
Okay. The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 23 and verse 16.
Mm-hmm.
2 sorts of men multiply sin.
Go ahead.
And the third will bring wrath. A hot mind is as a burning fire. It will never be quenched till it be consumed.
Right, so that's talking about somebody with a short temper, right?
A fornicator in the body of his flesh will never cease till he have kindled a fire.
Right, so a fornicator, one that's always chasing after women, eventually he's going to chase after the wrong woman, right?
All bread is sweet to a whoremonger.
Right.
He would not leave off till he died.
Right, so a whoremonger, he's chasing women for the reasons of whoredom. Not to be a husband, but just to satisfy his youthful lust. Okay, and that's not the way of a spiritual man. Read on.
A man that breaketh wedlock.
A man that does what?
Breaketh wedlock.
Right, so a man can break wedlock. How does a man break wedlock? By doing what? Adultery. Exactly. If a man sleep with a married woman, you have broken that woman's wedlock. Okay, so she, is now susceptible to what? Being put away because you broke the wedlock. The lock is the fact that she doesn't give herself to anyone else, right?
Saying thus in his heart, who seeth me?
But you want to sneak at night, your man is, your man got to do with me type of argument, right?
I am compassed about with darkness.
It's late night, nobody gonna know. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. They have all those type of Stella getting her groove back. They have all kind of things. Right? That's kind of old school. Well, I'm old school, right?
The walls cover me, and nobody seeth me. What need I to fear? The Most High will not remember my sins.
Right, Most High, this is a quick little sin. You've been looking at me. I'm looking at you. You come with that type of loose argument. Okay, try to play on a woman that's weak-minded, might be going through things in her relationship, whatever the case may be, and now susceptible to game, right? What they call game, right? Read on.
Such a man only feareth the eyes of men.
Right, and he trying to sneak and do things on a sneak tip on a DL, hitting them on a DM, right? You know what I said? Right, read on.
And knoweth not that the eyes of the Most High are 10,000 times brighter than the sun.
The Most High looking right at you. Just when you think you're hidden, the Most High is looking at you like, dude, what are you doing? Yeah, sister, we can go over scripture. Hey, my husband, you don't ever go over scripture with me. Don't worry about it, sister. I got scriptures. What the hell are you talking about? You got scriptures. Why are you talking to this married woman talking about you got scriptures? Huh? If you got scriptures, you need to give it to her husband. I tell her husband, give her the scriptures. You there? Yeah, don't worry about it. You out of town again? You don't even care. I got you. I got scriptures. Like I said, ain't no breakdown after midnight. Ain't no breakdown.
Yeah.
Ain't no breakdowns after that time. Class go late. You might go to 11, but ain't no breakdowns after midnight. All right, read on.
Beholding all the ways of men and considering the most secret part.
Right, you can't hide. He considered the most secret part. What's your most secret part? What's your most secret part, sis? Let's see if you get it. What's your most secret part?
Like physically?
What's your most secret part? I can give you no hints.
I'm going to assume how we can talk about my.
What's your most secret part? It's a real straightforward question. The most secret part of you is what? Nope. How about you, sis? What's your most secret part? You gonna say it body, same thing? All right. Yeah, the men know. I see the men, they pointing to it. All right. Your most secret part, sister, is what's in your head. Your brain. Because I don't know, no man can read your brain unless you say something. Now, when you say something, you have allowed a window to what's going on in your most secret part, which is your head, your brain. All right? You don't say nothing, they won't know nothing. But if you get to talking, then your most secret part becomes revealed. And once you reveal the most secret part, well, then those other parts is coming down the lane. Okay? Because I don't think you just go to deal with somebody you ain't never had a conversation with. It starts with a conversation. What is that conversation revealing? What's going on in your brain. Okay? So you got to be very mindful of who you're talking to and what you allow yourself to talk about. Okay? Don't think that you're super strong, all right? Because we pray all the time. Lord, I'm pretty sure we said the Lord's Prayer, hopefully every day. And we say, lead us not into what? Temptation. So we don't want to go running into temptation, thinking we Superman and we can handle it, don't worry about it. We can talk about all these kind of things that we shouldn't be talking about. Next thing you know, you go from talking about things you shouldn't be talking about to thinking about things you shouldn't be thinking about, and then doing things that you ought not to be doing. Okay? This is how it happens. So understand that you can break that chain from the beginning by, the scriptures say, closing the doors of your mouth. Okay? And not saying nothing. And that goes back to being shamefaced and sober and being discreet. Certain things you ain't even going to talk about. You ain't got to know. Somebody want to know something that you don't need to know that. Shut it down. All right? This way that spirit will never get a chance to rise. All right? So we're going to stick a pin in it right there. I guess next week we're going to do part 2. All right? And I'm coming in. We're going to start at 8:30. And you know this, we got a lot of scriptures, so they're going to be running quickly. You know, those that came late, we went through a lot of scriptures in the beginning. But try to get here. I'm starting at 8:30, and we'll go through these scriptures. And then we're going to really go into next week the structures of marriage, the marriage certificate, the different types of marriage in the scriptures. And then we're going to get examples in the scriptures of these different types of marriage. All right, Khan? Hallelujah. Oh, any questions before we wrap up?
When you doing the fast, are you supposed to fast with just food or food and water?
If it's a spiritual fast, your spirit don't need to eat nor drink. If you're fasting for some other reason, physical, health-wise, or the case may be, then, that's different. It could be a water fast, any kind of fast. Or you can give a fast, you can have a fast if you're just trying to give up something for a while, Like some people say, I've seen people fast like off of no alcohol for a month, right? And give that to the Most High, But if you're really going on a full-on fast and you fasting and praying to the Most High, that's no food, no drink, no nothing. All right? No food, no drink, no relations, none of that when you're on a fast. None of that. No pleasures of the flesh. You shut your flesh totally down of what it wants and give yourself over to your spirit. And this allows your spirit to have more charge over your vessel. So fasting is very powerful. Okay? By denying yourself for spiritual reasons, it builds great discipline in righteousness. You know what I mean? And that discipline transfers to other laws and allow you to help you keep other laws. So fasting is very advised that we all fast, man. As often as you can, I don't fast as much as I used to, but it is important. I probably get back on that train. I used to fast weekly because it just gives you more charge in your spirit over your flesh, and your flesh is shut down. Any other questions?
So I know we did this a while back in the Torah portion. Abraham, did he marry his blood sister? Or
No.
was it like?
It wasn't his blood sister.
Because
We can go back over there. I know a lot of people believe that, and we can go back over it, but it's not his blood sister.
Because somebody stopped me in Genesis 20 and 12.
We'll look at it. Oh, you want to look at it now? 20 and 12? Oh, when he said, yeah, indeed, she is my wife. She is my sister. She is the daughter of my father, but not the daughter of my mother. And she became my wife. Right? Not in this place, but they will slay me for my wife's sake. Okay. So you got to go back to, where she came from. So we're going to go back into her lineage. And you'll see that she's not,
So I can find that in the Chronicles?
Some in Chronicles, some right here in Genesis. We'll look at it. It's going to take me a little time, so we're going to go through it. But you'll see that, when he went to get her, or what transpired from the getter, that they were of the same family line, but not directly brother and sister, But same father, just means that we were the same nature, same kindred, same bloodline, but not
So sort of like Mary and Joseph.
same bloodline, right? Just two different. It was similar bloodline, the same family, but not the same exact bloodline, Mary and Joseph. But they both came out of the household of David. You know what I mean? So they both had the same father, per se. You know what I mean? That's a good example. They were both considered to have the same father, because David was the great man of their lineage. But their lineage were different as you went down through the lineage. You see that they weren't all the way up to their particular father, was not brother and sister. Right? Yeah. So yeah, we'll go over that and we'll show the lineage. All right. So we will go to Shofar, we'll fix Shemashma. Bless. Thank the Most High for giving us a blessed Shabbat Eve. And tomorrow, remember, don't forget, noon, we'll be here. Praise the Most High. And going into the portion for the Shabbat day. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Zah. Hallelujah.
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 Who's the power?
Yahweh's the power.
Who's the power?
Yahweh's the power.
By Hashem.
Yahweh Shai.
By Hashem.
Yahweh Shai.
All praises be to the power of Amos and Jacob, the power of Israel, that given us the Shabbat day of peace. We thank thee, Yahweh, for all the souls in this room. We thank thee, Yahweh, for the understanding that thou hast bestowed upon us. We ask you to continue to bless us and keep us in thy graces. I ask you to continue to open up our minds and our spirit up to thy high and holy word, that we will be fortified in thy will, and that we walk in the ways of our power, Yahweh. And we create righteous households in thy sight. All this we ask in the name of Mashiach Yahushua. Yahushua receive the prayer, the Lord's Prayer.
Hamashiach Tapala. Abiyano,
Abiyano,
Ashara,
Ashara,
Hawa'a,
Hawa'a,
Bashamai,
Bashamayim,
Yakudasha,
Yakadasha,
Yahaya,
Yahaya,
Shamka,
Shamka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Ba'a,
Ba'a,
Mamokafka,
Mamokafka,
Yaisha,
Aisha,
Ratazawanka,
Ratazawanka,
Ka,
Ka,
Bashamai,
Bashamayim,
Khan,
Khan,
Ba'rataza,
Baharataza,
Lathaf,
Lathaf,
Lanawa,
Lanawa,
Lacham,
Lacham,
Ko,
Ko,
Yawam,
Yawam,
Wasalak Lanawa,
Wasalak Lanawa,
Khabawaf Yanawa,
Kabawaf Yanawa,
Bawa'a,
Bawa'a,
Salak Nawa,
Salak Nawa,
Gum,
Gum,
Hakhayabya,
Akharyamyam,
Shalanawa,
Shalanawa,
Wala'a,
Wala'a,
Sabiya Nawa,
Tabana Enawa,
Oh,
Al,
Nasa,
Nasa,
Aka,
Aka,
Lahatazayo,
Lahatazayal,
Lanawa,
Lanawa,
Man,
Man,
Harai,
Harai,
Kaya,
Kaya,
Laka,
Laka,
Hawa'a,
Awa'a,
Hamamoka,
Hamamoka,
Haka,
Haka,
Wahakabuat,
Akabawat,
La'ilam,
Layam,
Bahasham,
Bahasham,
Mashiach,
Mashiach,
Yahushai,
Yahushai,
Kawada,
Kawada,
Kamyad,
Kamyad,
Aman,
Aman,
Hallelujah,
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 Hallelujah.
Hey, Most High. Everybody coming out. Keeping the Shabbat Eve.
Yeah, sure, man.